Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Loudmouth Radio, the hottest internet radio network in the nation. This broadcast is a live feed via internet on blogtalkradio.com/loudmouthradio. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook on Loudmouth Online and like our page. Feel free to post your questions and comments about our Loudmouth Radio shows and follow our upcoming broadcasts. Tonight, The Universal Mind is one of 3 shows currently broadcasting on Loudmouth Radio, so be sure to check with us each and every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and tune in with Mr. Roderick Watkins. This program will be available for download and on demand anytime after 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each Monday. Tonight, we have Universal Mind with Roderick Watkins, and we are very excited for this show as it's continuing to grow and doing exceptionally well. Our host, Mr. Roderick Watkins, has been doing very well with his guests, situating his different topics for his audience, and our listening lines are growing tremendously. So we're really anxious about our growth as we're going into I think we're going into our second month as we're broadcasting live on Loudmouth Radio. So I just want to tell everyone that as a producer, we want to thank you for listening and tuning in each week as we broadcast Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights. Now, I want to also share with you that you can go to loudmouth.com, LOUDDMOUTH.com, and follow us as we start to update and give avenues and aspects of things that you can talk to us about and comment about our shows and listen to archive shows as they're featured. And without further ado, your host for the evening, Mr. Roderick Watkins.
Hello, and welcome to the Universal Mind. I'm your host, Roderick Watkins, and we're live on the new Loudmouth Radio Network. If you want to tweet us, you can tweet us at Loudmouth Radio, or you can reach us on Facebook at Loudmouth Radio or Loudmouth Online. Sorry about that. You can also call us at 347-826-752. I'm really excited today. Today our topic is dream jobs and financial freedom. And our special guest is an entrepreneur. Her name is Tanisha Morgan. And as long as I've known this lady, she has been on the hustle doing her things. Let me tell you a little bit about Miss Morgan here. Miss Morgan at the University of New Mexico. She studied law and business, where she then went on and worked in the legal field. In 1994, she just decided that was enough, and she wanted to delve into her own business. So she opened her own salon, employees and all. She expanded her business, where she got involved in Legal Shield. Her sincere desire is to help and serve others, if possible, by empowering them to find their dreams and passion. She currently resides in Phoenix, operating her agency. She has successfully brought 2,000 employees and businesses and families in with her service. She's also been co-featured on Good Morning Scottsdale show for local businesses, and she's she's also spoken at the MVCC annual conference. So this lady has quite a resume, an extensive resume, and I'm looking forward to talking to her. But before we do, I just wanted to talk about the current American job satisfaction rate. And right now, at least in 2010, a survey was done, and this is reported by USA Today, and it says that over 45% of Americans are dissatisfied with their work and that they believe that this trend is increasing. Now, I know a lot of you are asking, well, what the hell does this have to do with universal mind and living authentically? But a part of living, we spend over 8 hours a day, some of us even more than that, more than 40 hours a week or so at our jobs. That's a third of your day. So that's a lot of time to be unhappy. And with people reporting, high job dissatisfaction rates, one of the main reasons that people are reporting that is due to stress. the stress that they have on their jobs. They're not satisfied. They don't feel that they're getting paid enough, and then they're stressed. And we all know what stress can lead to. Stress can lead to heart disease, asthma, obesity, headaches, depression, anxiety, gastrointestinal problems, Alzheimer's, accelerated aging, and even premature death, as reported by WebMD. So our job satisfaction is essential to us living authentically. A lot of us out there don't feel we're doing what we want, and we don't feel passion in what we do. I've experienced this myself. I started off in IT. I went back to school. I got a master's in psychology. For those of you who do know me, I've also done some motivational speaking. So my search and my growth and my development are definitely in direct response to that being unsatisfied at my job. And it's been a big part of my growth and my development in this journey as I go to align myself with those aspects of my personality that need to be free or financially free. And part of that is finding work that I'm passionate about, which is why I'm so thankful. Thank you again, Sonny, for that introduction in regards. This show is just an example of what's being manifested in my life, so I'm really appreciative of this opportunity. But anyway, with no further ado, I'm very excited. Let's bring our guest on, Miss Tanisha Morgan. Are you here with us, Tanisha?
I am. How are you?
I'm good. So it's been a little bit since I've seen this, since I've left Phoenix, Arizona. How are things?
Oh, 101. That's how things are. Hot. That's how things are. I forget.
For those of you who don't know, Miss Morgan lives in Phoenix, Arizona, so the heat is on out there, I guess.
Yes, it is. And I forget when I hear my mom, who's in Michigan, talk about the snowstorm and it's 30 degrees outside. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? It's like 97. But I forget that it's cold where, other folks live, not here where it's desert. So,
most of us.
Pretty hot here.
So, but, I'm not going to lie. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the weather out in Phoenix better than I do out here, although I love living in Georgia, and I love the AP aliens. Don't get me wrong, listeners. I'm repping Georgia, but we definitely have to do something about all this rain out here.
Yeah, can't do it. I'm not good with humidity. I lived in Houston too long, and I was tired of rocking the afro, so I'm now in Arizona where my hairstyle lasts.
Yeah, your hair looks real good in that photo, by the way. I really like the photo that you sent us.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, I just want to remind our listeners that they're listening to The Universal Mind with Roderick Watkins, and today's topic is dream jobs and financial freedom. Our expert today is Tanisha Morgan. You can call us and join in at 347-826-752, or you can listen to us or tweet us at Loudmouth, LOUDDMOUTH, or you can also Facebook us at Loudmouth Online. All right. So, Tanisha, you, as long as I've known you, you've been financially independent, meaning that you haven't, since I met you, I haven't known you to work in corporate. You've always had your own thing going. How did this start? How did this start, or did you were you ever in corporate America?
Well, I guess I was in corporate America and didn't know. Let's see, when I was 17 in high school, I was a part of a program we called DECA program, where you could go to school half a day if you had good grades, and you could work. The school would find you a job. So my first placement was in a law firm. At 17 years old, I worked half a day and went to work from 1 to 5 at the law firm. So I was introduced to the legal arena very young, and I loved it. I worked for personal injury attorneys, working for car accidents and things like that, and it was just neat. I was a legal secretary per se, paralegal without the degree because they taught me so much. I did that for years, but that was, I guess, corporate America. I can't really say because it was two of us in the office, so it was never really a cubicle or office politics. It was me and the other secretary to answer the phones, and we, saw clients and the attorneys were there. So that was probably the only corporate America job that I've ever had as far as working in law firms. So it's pretty much my upbringing. So no, not traditional corporate America.
Okay. So you've always had this entrepreneurial spirit?
Yes, I have. I was always the child that you could buy things from. My grandmother used to call me a business owner at 5, because I was making jewelry. My mom would take me to Goodwill and I'd buy a bag of beads and I would string them on some yarn and I'd walk around the neighborhood and sell necklaces for $1. Or I bought the Jolly Ranchers and the candies and you could buy them for me in school. Or I had the Cool Cups, the Kool-Aid in the cups, and we'd freeze them. So my mom's freezer was always like full of my stuff that I would sell, and it was always in my spirit. I was raised by my mom. It was just me and her, only child, and my dad wasn't around. So when she worked hard, and if I wanted something, I had to get it because there wasn't any extra money. So she taught me how to create my own income, and it was being creative. And so I would learn how to sew. I'd sew for people, or I learned to paint. And I remember painting houses in the summer with the handyman in the neighborhood while all the boys are shooting basketball and the girls are doing double dutch. I'm painting, I'm mowing grass, but that's just what I did. It was like, I ain't got time for that. I need to go make this $20, because she didn't have the money for me to do stuff, and I still wanted the Jordache and Lee jeans, all that back then. So I had to buy it myself. I didn't want to go to Walmart. So I grew up doing those things, I guess, and now that I look back, that's why I've been self-employed, because she's always taught me that you are the source of your income. If you want to make money, you make the money. Don't let anybody tell you what you can make. And it just kind of carried over into. Go ahead.
I just want you to repeat that again. No, we're definitely going to continue. But you said you are the source of your income, because a lot of people, they don't have that belief or that understanding. That you are the source of your income. We believe that. Most Americans believe that their job is the source of their income.
Right, but jobs, as we know today, as you just mentioned, they're just over broke. That's what that stands for. So if you want a job, then that's pretty much where we fall, and our parents and our grandparents. And as I've grown and learned a lot from people who had more than me, they said, look at your family, and if there's people in your family that have done well, then follow them. But most of us, when we are older, we can't help our grandparents or our parents, and they don't have much to give us because they've done exactly what they keep teaching us to do. And I didn't want to end up like, my mom or my grandma were just getting what people gave me. So she taught me early on, go get it. You want it, you go get it. And the sacrifices. In summertime, I didn't play a lot with the kids. In summer, I worked, but I had money. And I bought my own car. In high school, I bought my own car. My mom didn't do it. I remember the day was so funny. I went to the dealership and came back with a car. And she was like, what do you mean? I was 17. I bought a car. She's like, what do you mean you bought a car? Oh, and by the way, Mom, I used your car as a trade-in. She's like, what? Yeah, I told him I had a car at home and it was yours. And, so she was like, you got to be, I probably got a whooping. I don't remember. But, it was just, that's what she taught me. You just go do you. You make it happen. And therefore, you can't be upset when it doesn't happen, because I can only blame myself. And we get really upset when we lose a job or we're, downsized or whatever. We're really upset about the situation because somebody else had our life in their hand and it wasn't as important to them as it was to us, and they dropped it and they moved on to the next person. But yet we're still like, well, wait, I got bills to pay. I got kids to feed. I got this. What do you mean I don't have a paycheck? So I never wanted to really feel that. So I thought I can, if I'm mad at myself, I'm mad at myself. And I can't blame anybody but myself for not working hard to get it. I don't want to be mad at somebody else because then I gave them all my power.
Wow. So a lot of people think that, just because you work in corporate America, that's a consistent paycheck, and that, if you're self-employed, you're not always guaranteed a paycheck. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely. That is 100% the truth. However, I have always made more than the paycheck would have given me, just because of my inner drive to do more. I mean, there are days even now, in my business, and when you're a business owner, there's good days and bad days, good months, bad months, and you may work really hard. Real estate agents know it. They'll sell houses, they make great sales, make, $10,000-$20,000 this month, next month make nothing. So we get it. We understand that you work hard, you get paid, but you also have to budget and plan and all that. And so for me, it was, I don't understand personally how someone can accept a paycheck because it's secure, quote unquote, knowing when I get paid 2 weeks from now, I'm going to have $10 left. Because you already know you're going to be broke in 2 weeks. I don't get that. I can't fathom that.
Wow. So say that again. You're saying that people aren't really budgeting. They're working paycheck to paycheck, and they know they're going to be broke. And,
yeah. The concept to me is crazy that you know that when your paycheck comes, it's already spent, and you're going to have $50 left over. You know that, but you go to work every day knowing I'm working 2 weeks to have $50. What's the difference? I go to work every day. I don't know how much money I'm going to make, but at the end of 2 weeks, I make $5,000, or I might make $1,000. But the freedom of time that I have and the stress that I don't experience because I already know how much money I'm not going to have, I can't do that. I can't do that. I don't get it. So it's just a mindset. It really is. And being in business for myself for so long, I've just been taught differently by those who have been in business for themselves. I don't have an employee mindset where I go to work, I get paid, I know my bills are paid, and I budget what's left. Wealthy people don't think like that. I mean, most Americans do. They spend what's left. Wealthy people don't. They save first. They invest in themselves first, and then they spend what's left. They pay themselves
first. They invest in themselves first.
Always.
Not paying out to everybody else.
Absolutely. Bills will be there. All that stuff will be there. Material things will be there. But, most Americans don't. When they get a bonus, I'm going to go buy these rims, or I'm going to go buy this, I'm going to buy that, instead of, let me save for when I lose my job, I got rent paid. They don't think that way because we're taught that that's just what you do. But again, I looked at my mom, and I looked at my grandma, and I looked at the people in my family and how they kept doing that, and they were still, nobody in my family was financially wealthy. Everyone was stressed. Everyone was sick. Everyone had, diabetes and heart problems and high blood pressure and divorces, and children were crazy. I mean, everybody had issues, and nobody worked for themselves. Nobody. And I was the only grandchild.
Okay. Hold that thought right there, Tanisha. Hold that thought right there. You've given us a lot, and let me tell you, you have the lines buzzing. My producer's like, y'all got questions. So we have some other people on the line. So let's get to these questions. I think we're going to go. We're going to be pretty busy tonight. So who's our first caller? Caller, are you on? Hello, caller. Are you there? Oh, okay, I guess my producer will let me know when they're ready to speak. So you said mentor. Are you still with me, Tanisha?
I am.
Okay. So you said mentors. Who were some of your mentors, if not since your parents and your grandparents weren't able to provide that example? Where did you see that example? Oh, hold on one second, Tanisha. If you are, to my listeners and those who are calling in, if you want to ask a question to Miss Tanisha Morgan, go ahead and press 1. Again, that call-in number for the Universal Mind is 347-826-7520. And if you want to call in and ask Miss Morgan or myself some questions, please just press 1. All right. So who were some of your mentors, Tanisha?
Well, it's interesting now that I'm older. I didn't realize that I had mentors growing up until now. When you realize what a mentor is, I would say first and foremost working for the law firm at 17, 18 years old, those were my first business mentors. The two attorneys I worked for, of course, were in their own firm. They were next door to an accountant, financial planner that I later worked for that helped me with finances and taxes. They were just surrounded by men that had degrees and their friends, and I used to hang around them. They'd have luncheons, and I would just pick their brains. And so I learned a lot about business and law and, just being prepared. I had a will at 18. I didn't have anything, but I had a will. So I was around them. Yeah, I didn't know why I needed one, but they said you just need one. So, okay, I got it because you told me I needed it. You're a lawyer, I'm not. So I realized that they were mentoring me along as far as, things I should know being prepared in life. When I was 23, I started my own business. I went to the University of Mexico, got my law degree. I didn't get my law degree. I was going to law school, and I realized this wasn't what I wanted to do, and I dropped out. And I decided to start my own business because I didn't want to work for anybody. So in my own salon that I had, my mentors became my clients. And I didn't know it until later, that every woman that sat in my chair mentored me about something, some good, some bad. Some I realized, nope, don't want to do that, never going down that road. Yep, nope, not going to do that. Some of them mentored me in things to not do, but some of them gave me so much insight on my life as a woman, because I think most of us we may have a couple of friends that we consider friends as adults, maybe 4 or 5 that you consider, if that, true friends. But most of us don't have mentors. And if you do have mentors, it's not until you get older that you realize you need one, that you have one. And it may be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe a few mentors. But when you have hundreds of people that mentor you, it really shapes you. And I didn't realize it until a few years ago, that those women, they shaped me into who I am, because I learned from 16-year-olds and 42-year-olds and women who were single moms, men clients. I learned a lot from them, how they are in relationships with their women, how they should and shouldn't be, from women that have been married for 52 years. I mean, they mentored me through life, and I realize now I owe everything that I am as a woman to my entire clientele.
Wow. So let me just stop you right there. Yeah, let me just stop you right there. That's brilliant what you just said, because we talk about that a lot on this show. We talk about how we're influenced by those people around us, and you said each one of your clients contributed to your own, not just your financial growth, but your growth as an individual and a person.
Absolutely. They probably didn't know it, and I didn't know it at the time either. When you're in it, you don't really see it. But like I said, as I was older and realized the choices I had made and why I had made those choices, it was a lot to do with what I learned and heard from them. Just a lot, And when you hear the same thing said from different people, then you might want to believe it. And these people were not related. They weren't related. They didn't know each other, different backgrounds, different upbringings. But when you have so many people saying something to you that is the same, then, you might want to go, there's validity to this. You need to listen. Correct.
Please, I want my audience to just take a moment to absorb what she's saying, because I had to learn that myself. When you have so many people telling you the same thing over and over and over again, you might want to just sit down and listen to what they have to say. That's how the universe speaks to us, right?
Exactly.
And sometimes we're looking for answers, and they're right there. They're right in front of our face, but we're just so stuck on how we want things to be instead of just looking at the reality of how things are.
Absolutely.
So that's brilliant.
Totally agree.
I love that you stated that. So yes, audience out there, listen to those people around you, and learn how to take criticism or critique. One of the things when I was doing motivational speaking for Fred Pryor, they would tell us in regards to, you always listen to what people have to say. And what you take from it is, some people will try to trigger you with negative things because of their own issues. But it still doesn't mean that they aren't offering you something of value, meaning that you have to sort of sift through and know those things that apply to you. So,
Absolutely. I've just learned so much from people in general. That was prior to me being in Legal Shield. That was just my own business. But since I've been a part of this company, it is just catapulted, I guess, to a whole nother level.
Yeah, because you're speaking around the country now, right?
Yeah, actually, sometimes when I'm asked, I had the privilege of being a part of the National Black Chamber of Commerce conference that they had in Houston a few years ago, and they asked us to come and speak to the business owners about our company and our services and things like that. And I'm a part of a network marketing company, you could say, quote unquote, Legal Shield, but not really, because we actually provide a service for individuals. So I actually do this as an employee benefit, and I speak to business owners all the time about something to help their business. And because I have owned a business, I ran the salon that I was a part of for, 16, 17 years, just being a business owner. I could speak to them about the issues that I had as a business owner that we don't seek help for until the problem happens, instead of being proactive. So now we're trying to be proactive, which is what the attorneys taught me years ago when I had a will at 18. Be proactive. Be prepared. Don't wait. And so many of us wait, and it's only just because of what we're taught. Right. You go to work, you wait for your check. You pay your bills, you wait for you wait to be happy. Everything else you wait for. You take care of your priorities.
I got to slow you down, because you go over those gold nuggets real quick that you served into the community there. You said people put their happiness on hold. They wait to be happy.
Absolutely. Most people, shall I say, of course, you can't say everyone, but most people. They wait to be happy.
We don't have to wait for our happiness. We can have heaven on earth now.
Yeah, well, why? I mean, heaven in heaven is heaven. Why you gonna experience that when you get there? What's wrong with the earth that you own? I don't think we were created to be, unhappy. And what's interesting to me is when I was in law school, and I was working for the attorneys at the time, and one of the attorneys I worked for was putting me through law school, and I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore, and he couldn't understand it, of course, because he was an attorney. And he thought that was crazy. Why would you, I'm paying for you to go to school. Why would you go? I said, because you're unhappy. Every day I come to work, you're unhappy. You're stressed. You smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. You drink 3-4 cups of coffee. You rubbing your head. You got all these problems. And he actually had a heart attack and died maybe 5 years after this happened. But he was unhappy. His marriage had been, he was divorced. He barely saw his kid. His child didn't have a good relationship. Just looking at all this at 22 years old, thinking, Not that attorneys go through that. Not that they go through that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying was what I saw I did not like. And I thought, if that's what I'm going to be a part of, then I don't want to. And I said, I want to do something that I'm happy doing. I want a stressless job. I don't want to be stressed. I want to do something that I laugh every day, that I enjoy life. I laugh, that I make money and I have time freedom. If I can do those two things, that'd be great. But I want to do something that I enjoy every day. I want to be happy every day. And I decided to open a salon. Why? Because every day I would make a woman smile. Every day. She could have a bad day, but she'd come in and get her nails done and leave, and she was smiling because we laughed about something. We forgot about the tears or forgot about whatever happened. And in that hour, it was my time to shine, to make her feel like she was happy. And it in turn made me happy. So I have friends from 20 years now when I started the business that I'm still friends with because of the relationships we built through the salon. But I wanted to do something that I was happy. And that was the biggest blessing I could have done, was jumping out there and starting my own business, working for myself. Was it stressful? Yes. Were there days I didn't have income? Yes. But I wouldn't trade it for the world because I had time, I had freedom, and I had income. And most people never, ever reach all three of those at the same time.
Wow.
You might have time,
I like that.
A lot of time, but no money because you're broke. You might have money, but you have no freedom. You never see your family. You rich. You working 70 hours a week, making $200,000 a year, but you broke $300,000 a year. You never see your kids, and you don't have a relationship with your spouse. So it was. I wanted all three, and for me, freedom was happiness.
Right.
Freedom, not being stressed and not having to take high blood pressure medicine at 40.
Wow.
or just different
and
things
you're
like that.
looking good for 40. You doing 40 well. So I think that
40,
a lot of people
42. I'll say 42. Thank you. I'm very proud of that. 42, but yes.
Hey, 42. Correct me.
I'm actually
correct
32. I'm 3210. That's my new age. I'm 3210. We've been celebrating 32
you are definitely
years.
provided a good model for what 3210 looks like. So I'm happy to call you a friend. You have definitely inspired me.
Thank you very much.
To go out there and then just go after my dreams. And I had a rough start at it, and I'm out there again trying it again. But I think that there's rarely few things in life that we get right on the first time. You have to keep pushing at it. You have to keep going for it.
Well, I don't know any successful people that get it right the first time. And they say the only time that you'll see success before work is in a dictionary. It's the only time you'll see that word. Otherwise, there's always work.
Say that again.
The only time you'll see success before work is in the dictionary. It's the only time you'll see it. You have to work. And if you ask Donald Trump, he'll tell you there's no way it happened the first time. And I think most people they're delusional when they think, I'm trying this over and over and over again, it's not working, so it's a failure. No, it's not a failure. It's not, and there's no way that you're going to succeed in anything unless you do it over and over and over again. We teach our kids, you need to go to school every day. Every day you need to go to school. That's just what you do from age 5. You're going to go to school every day until you graduate the 12th grade. Every day. But yet we won't do something every day. Mm-hmm. Why does it stop when you graduate? Why does it stop at grade 12 or grade 16? Why does it stop then? Once we get out into the real world and we're supposed to still do those same things that we were taught, do something every day until you're great at it, we don't do that in the real world. Mm-hmm. We don't do it. We give up. Because somebody said, that's not going to work, or that's stupid, or why are you doing that, or why are you wasting your time, or, you listen to all this negative, the dream stealers is what I call them. You listen to the dream stealers steal your dreams when they don't even want your dreams. They just don't want you to have your dreams. They just don't want you to have them, because then you show them up for the dreams they never had, So I just got away from all of that. I chose the family that I wanted to be a part of, and it was positive people. I tell people if you can't change the things around you, you need to change the things around you. And that goes with people.
Hey, hold on one second. We got a comment coming in across our Twitter, and it's from Candace Miller. Candace, thank you for listening to the Universal Mind. And Candace says, absolutely. The universe always speaks to you through almost anything, trees, wind, dogs, as well as children. Heaven is here on earth, as well as your hell. It's what you choose. You choose to be free inside, and you must first believe. And then she also says she'll be using your statement, Tanisha, 3210.
She can have it. She can have it.
So I just want to, I mean, you are really just blessing us with some wisdom today. Dream stealers or dream killers, that's a great term. Both, and they don't even want what you have. They just want to spout negativity. Or
they just don't want you to have what it is that you have. And I think for most of us, our friends and our family, or who we consider, they're close. They're supposed to be in our corner. So usually when you have a problem, you'll talk to your friends and your family, and you'll listen to their advice because they love you. And you expect that they would give you good advice because they love you. And I think a lot of times they stop us from doing things that we really want to do or pursuing our dreams because they love us, and they don't want us to fall. They don't want us to fail because then we're hurt. So they don't want us to hurt. So they feel, let me block that because that's stupid. Because I don't want you to hurt.
How do we deal with dream killers or dream stealers? How do we deal with those people?
For myself, I just always have been a positive person, and that. It's very rare that anybody will see me unhappy, even when I'm going through stuff. It's just nobody else's business. It's still, you could make somebody else's day by just smiling. So for me, the dream stealers, I just never really listened to them because I always thought to myself, if they don't have what I have, why am I listening to them? If they're not doing what I'm doing, it's a waste of energy to even consider what they say. Now, if it's somebody that has what I have, they're not going to steal my dreams because they pursued their dreams to get what they got, and they're going to share with me how to do it. So the dream stealers are really easy to get away from because they never had what I wanted.
What if we're the dream stealers? Like, one of the biggest things I talk about, or I have issues with, and I talk about this a lot on the show, is my own negative affirmations that I have. You know, sometimes I stop myself from doing things out of fear or whatever. Do you experience that, or do you have issues with that?
Of course. Every day I'm afraid of something, but I don't think that fear is bad. I don't think it's bad at all. I have a fear of heights. I don't like heights. So what did I do? I went on a cruise because I'm scared of water and I'm scared of heights. So I said, I'm going on a cruise. And my mom's like, but you're scared of water. I know, so I'm going. Because I'll always be afraid of it. And you know what? People go on cruises and they don't die. Well, some do, but you know what I mean. They go on cruises and they live. You know, they come back. You know, there's lifeboats. So I said, if they can do it, why can't I? So
right,
I just
and you've
went.
been on airplanes, we know, because you travel quite frequently.
Oh, well, and I jumped out of an airplane. Matter of fact, I jumped out of an airplane with a good friend of mine who was like, let's go skydiving. And I was like, man, I ain't going. Okay. He was like, for real? Yeah, let's go before I change my mind. So I told my mom, I said, Mom, okay, I'm going skydiving, you know, because she's like power of attorney over everything. I'm like, okay, I'm going skydiving, so you know where everything is if I die. And she was like, okay. I said, and one of our friends, I think, may back out and not go, so we needed a fourth person, so I'm going to try to find a fourth person. And my mom said, I'll go. And I think she was 62 at the time. I said, you'll go? She was like, yeah. I said, for real? So me and my mom and my good friend went, and we jumped out the airplane together. And me and my friend went first because two can go. And then the second trip, she went by herself. We didn't want to go together in case the plane crashed, and we both did. So we wanted to make sure that one went. So she went second, so I could watch her. And both of us were like, it was the most, like, the feeling was awesome. It was amazing. And it was a fear I have of heights, like, oh, my God. But I thought the guy that did it had jumped 6,000 times. Wow. And you jumped tandem with him. So I said, well, if you've done this 6,000 times, again, somebody that mentored me, you've done this. You've been there. You know exactly what I need to do and what not to do. All I have to do is trust that you will get me to the other side because you've done it.
Right.
And we did it, and we made it. So my fear was, okay, I'm scared of heights, but I'm always going to be scared of heights. Why am I scared of heights? Heights hasn't done anything to me. You know what? Let me conquer this fear. Because if I conquer this fear, I can conquer something else. I can conquer somebody that says, Tanisha, that sounds stupid. Why would you do that? You know, why would you want to work for yourself and not know how much money you're going to make? You know, how you pay your bills. You should go get a real job. I heard all that. You should go back to school. Why you don't have a degree? Well, I know a lot of people with degrees now that work at Starbucks. And I didn't have a degree. I went to college for 2 years and dropped out. Or not working. I dropped out of college because I didn't want a job. I wanted to do something for myself. And I had a successful business for over 15 years, which some people don't have jobs for 15 years. But I always have the ability to make income. And you can never take that away from me.
So you say you don't have a job. What do you have? I guess you would say you would have a career then.
Well, yeah, or work for myself. I mean, I make my own income, and that's the best way to describe it, because with me having the ability to create income, which means I look within myself, and I can create any income. I can create any income that I want because I can do anything that I want because somebody's going to teach me. And that's my mindset is it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Nails, I went to school to learn nails. They taught me. That's why I made money. When I went to school, I went to work for the law firm. They taught me how to be a legal secretary. Now I work for Legal Shield. They taught me how to, market the services and protect families and go to companies and talk to employees. They taught me that. So the next thing I may do, I might want to be a motivational speaker. How do I do it? Somebody's going to teach me that. I can be taught.
You're already a motivational speaker, though.
Well, but I'm not getting paid like they getting paid, so somebody need to teach me how to get paid like they get paid. I listen to Les Brown on Mondays, and he's on right now at 5 o'clock. I listen to him, so I gave up my listening to Les Brown every Monday to be on the call with you, but Les Brown's amazing, and I love his spirit, and he's so real, and I think that's probably why people connect with me, because I am real. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything because I don't have to. This is life. You get one shot, and I can lie to you, and you can end up hating me at your 82, saying, why did I listen to her? Or I can say, look, this is how it is, and this is how it's going to be. Bump your head or get on the bandwagon, and let's get this thing done right. And I just have been taught to make money. So I can do whatever you teach me. So I don't need to look for a job for somebody to tell me what I'm worth unless I want to. And I may want to do that because it may be something I want to do. You know, I might want to own a restaurant. Well, that's a job because I'm going to be working.
So nobody tells you what you're worth. You define your worth for yourself.
Exactly. I can define my worth because I can do so many things because I create the income. It's just like Bill Gates and Donald Trump. Donald Trump filed bankruptcy for, I don't even know, billions of dollars. I mean, this man made all this money, lost it all, and came back and made it all back in like record time. Why? Because he creates the money.
Wow.
He creates the money.
Mm-hmm.
It's not us, and so many of us chase the money because somebody else is giving it to us. No, I don't chase the money.
Chasing the money versus creating the money.
Create the money. It's what, and I'm going to tell you, I heard this a long time ago. You're going to love this. I heard making money is just like baking cookies. All you need is a recipe.
Say it one more time.
All you need is a recipe. Yep. Making money is like baking cookies. All you need is a recipe. You can follow the recipe.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you can follow the recipe, you can make money.
And that's coming from Miss Tanisha Morgan, and you're listening to The Universal Mind with Roderick Watkins as we discuss dream jobs and financial freedom. You can join us at blogtalkradio.com, Loudmouth Radio, or on Facebook at Loudmouth Online, or on Twitter at Loudmouth, and that's LOUDDMOUTH. Also, for our listeners, if you want to call in, you can call in and listen to us at 347-826-752 and press 1 if you want to ask a question or leave a comment for us. So I'm just listening to the things. I'm getting so many affirmations from what you're saying today that I'm just going to write down. I do this thing now where I'm taking the affirmations that I love from this show, and I'm putting them on my mirror in my bathroom so I can see it in the morning, and that is definitely going to be one that I create the money, and that all I need is a recipe to create the money. So
absolutely.
Mentoring. So role models are essential for this. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I don't think that I know I couldn't have done any of this without someone teaching me.
Right. You didn't have to reinvent
I'm not that
wheel.
smart. Right. I'm not that stupid to think I'm that smart, shall I say. I don't my ego's not that big, and some people have that problem, and once they move it out of the way, then they can move past it so much further than they ever would believe, because it's not me. My success is not me. It's just because of me getting out of the way and learning from so many people that I'm able to be successful, because I said, you know what, they have what I want and they've done it like this, so let me back up and follow. Because it's okay to follow, because whenever you're following somebody, there's always somebody behind you that you're leading. So I just follow people and listen to them, and I have a lot of growing to do. I mean, I have a lot that I want to accomplish, and I just need to get around different people. I guess they say you are the average of your 5 friends' income. And that was true, because all of my friends, we all were around the same boat as far as income. And now the friends that I'm trying to hang out with, they're looking at me like, you need to get your weight up, girl, because you're bringing our average down. You ain't quite here yet. But I'm like, but hold on, I'm coming. So I'm the little sister. You gotta give me a shot. You gotta let me hang around you for a little bit till I can get it, because I know that they have what I want. And it's not just about the money. I mean, I have great relationships with people now that make incredible amounts of money. And I mean, I can't even fathom what they make to tell you, but I know that you would never know. They're real, and they're down to earth, they're us.
Audience, Tanisha, and those who know Tanisha, they know Tanisha's being very humble, because this sister makes her coins for sure. We're talking about beautiful homes at the foothills of mountains and everything like that. I've seen Tanisha just grow and develop in ways that just inspire me. And actually, we have a caller right now. We have a caller. Caller, are you on the line?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, welcome to Universal Mind. Who's calling?
This is Kyle Williams out of Hawthorne, California.
Hi, Kyle. How are you?
I'm doing good, I know the speaker very, very well. That's why she's laughing. And she told me to get on this call, and I did not know this show existed, so kudos to you. Job very well done. And Tanisha is killing this call. But I do want to say as a listener, because I'm an employee, and it was the one day that Tanisha sat down with me and basically changed my financial life. We both are in the same business, but I worked for a company for the last 20 years, and she sat down with me and she said, look, if you want me to change your financial picture, you're going to have to let me dig in your business. And I knew she was a smart individual from Chicago, very business-minded, very sharp, and a practical individual, one of the most practical individuals you will ever meet. And she said, if you don't know what your financial picture looks like, you won't know where you're going. You won't know where you're coming or going. So I'm one of those individuals, I like multiple paychecks. I like the paychecks from my job, I like the paychecks from my business, and I like paychecks coming from different places. So I understand where she's coming from a business standpoint, but I like multiple incomes. She sat me down and she showed me what my finances look like, and I said, wow, I never did this before. Now I know what it looks like. Now I know what I need to do every month. And I'm one of those individuals, she taught me to not just budget to pay and live, but to budget to pay to live forward towards tomorrow, not for now.
Thank you for that, Kyle. Thank you for that. We'll try to run it short on time, but I appreciate you calling in.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yes, please continue to listen. Please continue to listen, Kyle. We have another caller. Caller, are you there? Hello, caller. You're on the line?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Who's calling?
Hi, this is Sonia Ramirez. I know the speaker very well, and we've been doing business for quite some time. Well, hello. And
welcome to the Universal Mind.
Thank you. I just definitely want to applaud her for everything that she has done for me as well as my family, because she's definitely set the standard pretty high. And if you're working close to Mrs. Morgan, you definitely have to keep up with her. She has an incredible heart. She's very, very motivated and driven. And me, I have a background. I worked with attorneys for 8 years. And when I saw Miss Morgan doing a presentation, I was just, like, amazed. I was, she's someone that you definitely do admire, and she's just an inspirational to, so many of us. And I just wanted to call and let her know how much that I appreciate her and all the time that she has invested in me. And we're definitely going to be walking that stage together I'm going to get you there to where you're walking that stage as a millionaire, and we're going to be.
Thank you.
Definitely, you're so welcome, and I'm thankful that you have been here for me every step of the way. And I've been self-employed since 2006, because of Miss Morgan. So I definitely owe her a lot.
Well, thank you for calling in, Sonia, and appreciate it. Continue to listen. Thanks again, Kyle, for calling in. And I want to give another shout-out to Miss Candace Miller. She's listening in. I really appreciate it. She has a comment in regards to, she says, it's just mental conditioning, that the mental conditioning of that Willie Lynch syndrome, especially within the black community. What is a real job? And, I want to comment that because Kyle brought that up as well. Our mindset, especially as black people, we don't like to discuss our finances. Mm-hmm. Do you find that true?
Absolutely. I wouldn't even say black people, but yeah, more so our people, right?
And why is that, you think?
I don't know. I have no idea. I know growing up we never talked about money, or it's just, I think it's maybe taboo that they talk about those things, but that how else will you learn? And if you don't learn from the people that care about you, you're going to learn from people who don't care about you, and that's the media. They don't keep us in debt. They'll just keep pushing things that we don't need, but we think we need it because the limelight's shining on it. I read so many books, but I can't remember if it's The Millionaire Mind or The Millionaire Next Door. It's one of those books that I read, and I remember it talking about they did a study on all these millionaires and how many similarities they had, and these people didn't know each other at all. They did a study on seeing how many years they were married, how many kids they had, what kind of cars they drove, how much they spent on their clothes or their vehicle. It was an amazing study, and it was so close in numbers, and these people did not know each other, and it was clearly a mindset that somebody taught them. How many were self-made millionaires versus how many made their own millions? But it just showed like the stability, that they lived in their homes for at least 10 years. They were married for at least 15 years. I read it and I was surprised because, like I said, making money is like making cookies. There is a recipe.
Right.
But we don't know it because they hide it in books, and most of us don't read books.
Wow. And would you agree they're not going to you're probably not going to make $1 million working for corporate or working in corporate?
You might after 50 years or something, or
right.
You have to work
your
20.
401k?
You have to work 20. Yeah, you have to work 20 years making $50,000 a year in order to make $1 million. But yet after taxes, it's still not $1 million. So you really have to work 40. Probably, and then you retire on 40% less than what you used to make when you couldn't live the first time. So, you have to create your own euphoria. You have to create that on the side, and there's nothing wrong with a job, and we all need them in order to create social skills and learning how to, manage your household. And if you can't manage a budget knowing how much you're going to make, you for sure can't manage a budget not knowing what you're going to make, which is why statistically I think it's most professional NBA players are broke 6 years after they stop playing ball or something like that. It's ridiculous. You're talking millions that these young kids make, but nobody ever taught them. They get into the league and their mentors are all the other leaguers. So they got to have the women, the cars, and, they got to have all that because that looks like what I'm supposed to have. And none of them have, things that they, not none of them, but most of them don't have the things that they should have because they don't have the right mentors. So I do, mentors are so important.
Right. And you're working on a project yourself. You have a couple of things. I mean, I know you have another business called All Things Considered, and then you have another project, a new project that you're working on as well, right?
I do. I'm almost finished with my first book. I'm trying to have it done in the next couple of weeks to a month or so. But my book, I didn't want to write a book about me because nobody really knows me, so I didn't think they would buy it. I mean, Tyler Perry's not going to knock on my door to buy the rights to it.
Please.
So I figured.
Okay, I have to stop you right there.
But you know what? He's in Atlanta, so I'm
going
to need you. I'm gonna need you to go drive past his house, his studio. But I really was thinking, like, what can I write about? What can I write about?
You're one of the most interesting people I know. You can definitely write about your life. Don't play that.
And I decided to do it in a twist. So my book is actually going to be, I'm going to title it Memoirs of a Nail Tech. Because there's so many memories I have being in the salon, and there's so many stories I've heard, and I could fill a book. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to give all the nuggets that I received or try to remember them to people so they can see what I've lived through for the past 15 years and why I think the way that I think and why do I do things the way I do. It's because of the women and the men that I've spent time with, my clients. So I'm in the middle of doing that book, and it's kind of like a in your face book. I mean, it's funny if you know how I talk. That's how the book is written.
Yes,
so it's real.
Quite the comedian.
It's real. It's real. It might be a curse word or two in there, just one or two. But for the most part, it's just really some stories on different perspectives of things. And I hope that it helps somebody in a situation that maybe what that client told me or helped me get through could help somebody else. And it's just kudos to all the people that have poured into me and didn't know they were doing that. So
how important would you? Okay. So how important would you say job satisfaction is to just living in life, your spirit?
I just think whatever you do should be happy. I mean, my voicemail says if it's not fun, don't do it. And people laugh when they call my voicemail, and they're like, oh, that's cute. No, that's real. If it's not fun, don't do it. You have one life, and when you're done with it, who do you call and complain about? Nobody but yourself. I mean, it's all the choices that we make in our life, and for people to complain about their job or their relationship or this or that, well, why stay? There's other choices out here. Not, there's other things you can do. But again, if you're depending on the money, then you're going to stay. I don't depend on the money. I depend on me. I create the money.
You hear that, everybody? Don't depend on the money. You create the money. Tanisha, I want you, if you could take a second and just let people know how they can contact you or get in contact with you. You have a Facebook page, Twitter.
I don't know that you can find me on Facebook, but it's my name, Tanisha Morgan, T-A-N as in Nancy, I-S-H-A, Morgan. Just the way it sounds on Facebook. I don't know anything about Twitter. I don't tweet. I don't know nothing about that. I mean, I used to be a nail tech, so I'm face to face. So you can email me.
There you go. You played that card again.
I'm sorry. I'm face to face. That's just how I have I've built relationships face to face. I mean, the technology today, texting and Facebook. I mean, it's good, but I pick up the phone, I call you. That's how I built my business and my relationships, was dealing with people. I don't want to deal with a computer. So you can find me on Facebook, but I mean, you can email me. My email address is my name, the Diva Tanisha @gmail.com. And I made it up. Don't think I'm cocky. I just made it up. It's cute. And that's it. You can email me, but I mean, you can listen to this call. You can call Rod. You can find me. I'm gonna come to Atlanta. I'm gonna visit. But I just try to enjoy life, and I just hope everybody takes away from this that just do what makes you happy. And if it's not a job that you are at currently, but it's another one you're seeking, get it. I'm not saying don't get a job. I'm saying do what makes you happy. Do what you can give back to your children, happiness, not tiredness. I hate life. I hate my spouse, and then you take that out on your children. Give them what they deserve, and they deserve you. They deserve you to be happy.
Wow.
They deserve you to be healthy.
Tanisha.
Absolutely,
thank you for
Rod.
that.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. We will have you on again, especially when you drop that book. We'll have you on again.
Yay! Thank you.
All right.
I think I'll put that picture on the cover since you like it.
Yes. Looking forward to it. All right, everybody, and I just want to thank my audience for listening, and my callers. Sorry, I really didn't mean to rush anybody off. I hope you're still listening, but please, we appreciate you calling and listening to the show and calling in. Candace, I just want to thank you so much for your support. She's been tweeting us all night, she has a message for you. She says, to the sister, blessings, peace and love to her on her journey. Real talk, you are worthy of diva status. And also, what did she say? She says, we are afraid to fail in our community. So many of us bury our heads in the sand when it comes to finances. And yes, I learned that saying it in college. Put it in a book or we'll never see it. All right, and with that,
amen.
Yes, and with that, again, I just want to thank all my listeners. Remember, you're listening to The Universal Mind with Roderick Watkins, and join us next week when our show we're discussing, let me see, I didn't have it ready last time, but I have it this time. We'll have our guests, Donnie Milton and Flex, as we discuss fitness of the body and mind. So please join us next week, and have a good evening, everybody. Bye-bye.